Hello friends and my dear students. Myself Komal Walde from RBNB College, Shrierampur District, Ahmednagar. In previous lecture, we discussed about the chapter Kingdom Animalia from the standard 11th. Kingdom Animalia, in which we studied about the different types of the phylum, in which we studied about the non-chordates. There was the phylum Echinodermata, Platyhelminthes, Mollusca, Arthropoda. We studied about that different phylum. Now we move on our next topic, that is the phylum Hemichordata. Before we going on our topic, we discussed about the Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Annelida. They are including in the non-chordates because there is the notochord is absent, and the Hemichordata is considered as the subphylum of chordates. The Hemichordata is the considered subphylum of the chordates because the buccal diverticulum is present in the animal of Hemichordata, and this buccal diverticulum considered as the notochord, and the presence of notochord is the specific characteristic of the chordates. Some scientists considered that the buccal diverticulum is notochord, and that's why the Hemichordata is known as the subphylum of the chordates, but it is placed in the separate phylum. Nowadays, it is placed in the separate phylum of the non-chordates, that is the Hemichordata. The animals are marine animals. Mostly they are marine animals and they are present in the bottom of sea. The animals from the Hemichordata is present in the bottom of sea, and most of them are the free living animals. They are free living animals, and some are the sedentary animals. The body is divided into three parts: the proboscis, collar and the tail. The proboscis, collar and the trunk. The body is divided into three parts. The buccal cavity is give rise to the rod-like buccal cavity, or we can say that the rod-like buccal diverticulum. And this is rod-like buccal diverticulum is considered as the notochord, and that's why it is placed in the subphylum of the chordates. Again, the alimentary canal is complete. The alimentary canal of the Hemichordata is completed with a straight or U-shaped body. The alimentary canal is straight or the U-shaped in nature. The respiration occurs by the gills. The respiration occurs by the gills because it is the marine animal or aquatic animal, so the respiration is carried out by the gills, and the gills are arranged in the longitudinal rows. The gills are arranged at the longitudinal rows, and gills open into the gill slit. It opens into the gill slit. The circulatory system is a simple and open type. The circulatory system is simple and open type in the Hemichordata. The excretion is occur by the help of glomerulus. The excretion occurs by the help of glomerulus. The excretion is carried out with the help of glomerulus. The nervous system is embedded in the epidermis of dorsal as well as ventral skin. The epidermis of the dorsal skin and ventral skin contain the nervous tissue. The fertilization is external in the Hemichordata, as well as the sexes are separate. Means the sexes are separate. Some animals showing the bisexual nature, but most of the unisexual, the sexes are separate. the fertilization is external and development is indirectly in the form of free living larva. The development is indirect in the form of free living larva, and it is the connecting link between non-chordates and chordates. The hemichordata is the connecting link between the non-chordates and chordates because the gill slits are present, as well as the endoskeleton or exoskeleton is present. That is the characteristic of non-chordates. But the buccal diverticulum is considered as the notochord, and that is the characteristic of chordates. Hence, the hemichordata is the connecting link between the non-chordates and chordates. Now we move on our next topic, that is the phylum chordates. We move on our next topic, that is the phylum chordates. The chordates is characteristic by the presence of notochord. Means the cartilaginous notochord is present in the adult, or it is present at least in the embryonic development, or in the early embryonic life there is the presence of notochord, and that is the specific characteristic of the chordates. Again, the gill slits presents in the pharyngeal region, as well as the presence of hollow dorsal nerve also running throughout the length of the body, and the presence of ventral heart, it is the characteristic of the chordates. Means the notochord and the nerve cord is present throughout the body length. The presence of ventral heart and the presence of notochord, it is the characteristic of the phylum chordates. The phylum chordates is divided into 3 subphylums. It is divided into 3 subphylums. First one, the subphylum Urochordata, the second subphylum Cephalochordata, and the third one subphylum of the chordate is Vertebrata. The Urochordata and the Cephalochordata is collectively known as the protochordates. The Urochordates and the Cephalochordates is collectively known as the protochordates. The Cephalochordata and the Urochordata are collectively known as the protochordates. We discussed first one, the subphylum Urochordata. Urochordata, it is also known as tunicates. The Urochordata is also known as the tunicates because the animal consists the tunic. It is also known as the tunicates and ascidians because they are exclusively marine, and the body is soft, but the body is covered by the taste or tunic. That's why it gives the name tunicates. The tunics or the taste is made up from the tunicin substance. The taste, or we can say that the covering, the tough covering, that is the taste or tunic, is made up from the tunicin, and that's why it is also known as the tunicates. The animals are marine animals. Notochord is present only in the tail of larva, means at the embryonic stage or at the embryonic life, the notochord is present, and it is present in the tail of the larva. That's why it gives name, that is the Urochordata. Means the tail consists notochord. The notochord present in the tail of the larva, and hence the name is the Urochordata. But the notochord is lost during the metamorphosis. Again, the body consists pharynx. The pharynx has many gill slits, and it means the respiration is carried out by that gill slit, the gill slit which is present in the pharynx. The closed circulatory system are seen in the subphylum of the Urochordata. Again, the development is indirectly takes place in the Urochordata. Now, the subphylum Cephalochordata. We know that the Urochordata and Cephalochordata is collectively known as the Protochordates. The second subphylum is the Cephalochordata. They are marine animals. Mostly they are marine animals, and it is known as the lancelet. Lancelet is small fish-like animal, which is the length of that lancelet is nearly it is the 5 centimeter. The size of the lancelet is exceeds 5 centimeter in the length, and these are known as the lancelet. Means the animals from the Cephalochordate is known as the lancelet. It is partly buried in the soft marine sediment. It is partly live in the soft marine sediments. The notochord is present, and it is throughout the length of the body. It is present. Notochord is extend throughout the length of the body, and it is present throughout the whole life. Means not only in the larva stage, the notochord of the Cephalochordata is present throughout the life. Again, myotomes also present, that is the muscle blocks, which is also present in the Cephalochordates. The blood is without pigment. The circulatory system is a closed type. In the Cephalochordata, the circulatory system is closed type, but the blood is without pigment. Now we move on our next topic, that is the subphylum Vertebrata. That is the subphylum Vertebrata. It is the Cephalochordates, and it is the example of the tunicates and lancelet. It is the example of Urochordata and the Cephalochordata respectively, which is known as the Protochordates. Here we discuss that the nerve cord is present throughout the body. At the end, caudal fin, because it is the small fish-like structure. Now, the next, or we can say that the third subphylum, that is the vertebrate. In the vertebrates, the notochord is replaced by the cartilaginous bony vertebral column. Means the notochord is replaced by the cartilaginous bone as well as or the bony structure or bony vertebral column. It is divided into two divisions. The subphylum vertebrates is divided into two subdivisions. It is divided into two divisions, Agnathostomata and the Gnathostomata. The Agnathostomata, the animals lack the jaws, means the animal without jaws is absent in the Agnathostomata, and the jaws is present in the Gnathostomata. Again, the both divisions are divided into super classes, and these are we discussed in the next videos. Thank you.